So it's been a minute since I've done any kind of video. Had to go to work and stuff like that. But anyway, so you might be able to tell by the video that I made a purchase decision. Wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's hard to find a good deal, and I wouldn't have done it if I couldn't find a really good deal. But I got a 1990 base model Firebird. It is a V8 hardtop car. To basically the idea is to get a complete car that has the full interior. Just needs some work, obviously, and get a hardtop because that's the lightest version of a car of the third gen. I mean, not the Camaro's probably lighter, but than the Firebird because of the headlights and stuff like that. But anyway, so I found a good deal on one. It was $1,000. I couldn't beat that. It has the whole interior in it. It needs some work. It'll need to be scuffed and painted, things like that, and to get it looking good and everything, and need carpet and everything. But I was amazed. I got it on a Thursday. I put it in the garage on the Friday morning. I put it on the scales just the way it was, all the parts it had on it. It has an iron engine, iron head, iron intake manifold, everything in it. The only thing I don't know is how much fuel's in it. It doesn't have any water in it, stuff like that. So there's a little bit there. There's no battery in it. But it was just about 400 pounds lighter than the convertible is right now, which kind of blew my mind. I wasn't thinking it would ever be that much lighter than the convertible. I thought it would be maybe 200 pounds lighter, but to be 400 pounds lighter is pretty impressive. Now, there's some things that will add to that because of the Trans Am ground effect package on it and everything, so that'll add a little bit of weight to it. But when I do the LS swap on it, that's going to save quite a bit of weight. I think I've heard it's like 150 pounds at least you lose from doing the LS swap with the all aluminum everything on it. And then the seats, that thing had non-power seats, but they were fully adjustable. My seats only weigh like 19 pounds, the FX1 Pros, so it will lose some weight there. This hood is a lot lighter than the previous fiberglass hood because it's only single layered, so that'll gain some weight loss, and or it'll lose some more weight with that. Trying to think of what else. I could do a optic armor rear hatch that saves about 40 pounds on the back. So the goal is to get it still be a street car, still have air conditioning and heat, and actually have a radio in it this time, and be basically what this car is right now, just a lighter version of it. So hopefully I can make it to minimum weight at least, or really, really close, and still have all those amenities. And if it doesn't make it to it, everyone knows me, I'll still keep the air conditioning and all that kind of stuff in it regardless, but because it's still going to be lighter one way or the other. But the goal is to get it below minimum weight and then be able to add some weight, probably obviously to the back end of the car and as low as possible in the car to get some of that weight back on the back end, because the front to rear balance on this new car is going to be a little not as good as the convertible. It'll be a lot lighter on the back end. But I got some ideas on the front end, the splitter support, making that out of aluminum instead of the steel once I learn how to use that TIG welder. Yeah, so I raced the convertible yesterday, and that's probably going to be the last event that this car was going to run in, because I'm going to start working a little bit today on the new car, and I got to do some work on the floor. So some floor panel stuff that needs to be replaced on it. I found some rust in it, so there was that little bit extra cost in it. But I could race the convertible, but I didn't want to have to worry about getting, if I need to fabricate something on the new car with a part off the convertible, I didn't want to have to worry about having to get the convertible back going again for an event and be in a hurry and a rush and everything to make that happen. If I just want to be able to just do what I need to do to make it work, and if I can drive the convertible, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. So next year I'll run again with the Miata with Belinda, and so that'll be fun. It's nice, you know. I love racing my own car, but it is a lot of fun racing together. She's improving a lot. She's right in the mix of everybody. Yesterday, the event that she went to the Evolution School before I left for work last time, and it's showing. Like she did really good. She was right there where everybody else was running. So it'd be really fun to do it together again now that she's getting a little bit better, and see how much more she can gain. And so we'll start trailing the tires again and things like that next year, and driving together, and then, you know, continue to work on these cars. So I'm going to try and do some more video stuff with the new car, because this is kind of like starting from scratch. I never really had too much of an opportunity to do that on the convertible, because before anybody really mentioned doing video of any kind, I had a lot of the work done already. So I'm going to do the best I can. I just like to get in and get stuff done. I don't like to have to stop and do video and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and do probably a lot of time lapse stuff, and then pause the video, because I haven't really found a lot of information on the internet about replacing floor pans on these specific cars. I've seen some people do some patch jobs, which I'm trying not to do that. I may not replace one whole side, I may just replace the front of one side, and then maybe part of the other side. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to do some video of that. And then do some changes to the new car, like the braking system, rerouting brake lines differently, sort of actually like the DSC Camaro, the way they routed their lines a little bit. So some of the lines will be routed inside and then back outside the car to bypass all the heat and everything. Same thing with the rear brake line. It'll be routed inside the car down the tunnel, and then to the back of the car from there, to kind of keep it away from the heat too, because it's probably the worst part with the heat. A few other little tweaks here and there with my fuel pump access panel. I'm going to make a couple changes there to make that a little bit lighter, a little less robust as the one I made on this one. Was a little bit over the top. And then a few changes to the pedal positioning and mounting for the drive-by-wire pedal to make better clearance for the lines. And aside from that, I mean, I think everything else should be about the same. The wiring harness should swap right over. So, but there'll be a lot to come on it. There's a lot of stuff. So I'll do a quick walk around. So here is the new ride. This car is like practically untouched. Like I'm sure it's been repainted at some point, but there's like no modifications done from what I can tell. Like under the hood, everything, the wiring harness is all pretty much original. I checked this fender so far and it feels like everything's solid on it. I know people want me to check on that, but so far it feels good. I don't think there's a lot of damage underneath if there is any. So we'll see more into that when I start sanding it and everything. There's a little bit of somebody jacked it in the wrong spot under here, so there's a little bit of work to do there, but that won't be too big of a deal to fix that. It does have a nice Trans Am hood on it, which it probably shouldn't have, but I'll be able to sell that along with a bunch of other items on this car. I'll be able to sell things I won't be using because of swapping parts from the convertible over. So all the wheels and suspension parts and front nose, rear bumper. Yeah, and then the convertible, everyone knows this car had been wrecked in the rear, wrecked in the front, and I did a bunch of work to get it as good as I could get it. But it'll never be the same, you know. I mean, I do have the rear fender to replace on it, which obviously I won't be doing that, but I'll probably be just parting this car out. So I'll be selling the whole convertible top assembly with the new top on it, the tonneau cover, the trunk lid, the rear seat side panels, all the really valuable convertible parts. I'll be selling those, and I'll be making, well, I hope, I don't see why not. I should be able to make all my money back on the purchase of the new car with probably just to sell the parts off of this car. I'm actually going to use doors off the new car because these doors, being a convertible, they've got all kinds of cracks in it. They take so much load on the car from twisting and bending and everything. And the doors on the hard top over there, I opened them up, and the hinges actually feel really good because they don't take quite as much load because of being a hard top. So I'll still replace the hinges, but I'm pretty sure those doors probably aren't cracked on the inside like they are on this car. Yeah, there's going to be some things I'll probably use interior wise on the other car that I won't swap over. Like, I think probably the HVAC system in this car I probably won't use. I'll probably use the one on the new car depending on the condition of it, because I think there's something going on with this one because it creates a lot of heat even when you have everything off. So the goal with the new car is to get it, not this coming spring, but the following spring of, I guess it would be 25, is to have this car on the road. It may not be 100% complete. What I'd like to do is get everything from the firewall back painted on it and all that done, and then after that work on the front end of the car separately, because the rear parts where you get all the weather stripping and interior and stuff like that, so I'll have all that done and be able to put all the weather stripping on it, and then work on the front, because there's some fabrication I'll have to do in the front because of the new steering brace that I made, and having to mount the radiator, get that in there, and some, you know, miscellaneous odds and ends on it. And then obviously when I mount the front end off of this car on it, I'll have to do all the body work on it, which I haven't done yet. So all that I'll probably wait till after I get the back end of this car all done. And then once I get it done, I'll pretty much be able to start swapping over all the parts from the convertible over to it, like suspension and stuff like that. But yeah, so we'll see where it ends up weight wise, and how, if I get under the minimum weight of 3180. Right now it's, I have to look at my phone. I want to say it was 3279 is the hard top right now. That was with me in it, just the way it sits. So, you know, I did some general math, subtracting the weight of the engine, the weight of the hood, seats, the putting the optigomer hatch on it, that 40 pounds there, different things like that, and it definitely got under the minimum weight. Now there'll be added weight, obviously, like I said, with the ground effect package, and then I'm not sure if the big wheels on the convertible will be heavier because they're wider. I'm not sure, because these are just replica wheels, so they may or may not be heavier than these wheels. I'm sure the tires are probably heavier because they're wider, but I guess we'll have to see on that. But I still think I should at least be really, really close to minimum weight. And then, you know, this car still has all the air conditioning stuff in it, so there's really nothing missing from it. It actually has speakers in it, so there's a lot of stuff in it except for the fluids and everything in the front end, like water and stuff. So it should be a pretty solid number from where it's at. So anyway, I guess that's it. I'm gonna kind of sign off of here and get going on this thing. I'm not sure exactly where I definitely want to get the engine out pretty quickly and make it a little lighter to move around, but also kind of want to get the interior the rest of the way out so I can make sure the rest of the interior is in good shape and everything too, because it'll be moving in and out of the garage for a little while. Then eventually I'll put the convertible outside with the cover on it so I can keep it in here for a while. So I get it stripped apart to a certain point, start working on the floor and everything. So anyway, so that's kind of an update on it. Oh, and I do have some new goodies for it that I can use now that it's a hardtop. I can use these nice fancy Detroit Speed subframe connectors. So that's gonna be a big upgrade for it. Here's the floor pans I got for it, complete left and right side. So we'll see how much of that I need to use. Like I said, I may not do the whole right side. I may do just part of it because the rear part of it's actually in good shape. The left side, I may use most of it, depending on how it looks when I start grinding into it and stuff. So yeah, so it's gonna be fun, a lot of work, but I've done it before, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I'm actually honestly, I'm kind of ready to be away from the convertible. I put all these brand new seals on the convertible, and yesterday we were flipping the top and one of the seals already ripped on it in the back of it. It's just part of the game of having a convertible. It's just they're so hard to keep everything nice with the top and everything. It's just so hard to maintain. It's just constant battle trying to keep it nice and everything, then all the weight and everything. So but yeah, and then all the limitations, that's the other thing. I guess I'm keeping on going here, but the limitations of the convertible, I've got some friends, a particular friend that helps a lot with teaching me about geometry and adjusting stuff and everything, and we're kind of both we think we're at the limit of what this convertible can do with the weight of it and the flex in the chassis. And I think that's where some of my handling issues are happening right now, is because some of the flex in the convertible is not reacting like it should, and a lot of roll weight and everything. So kind of at the limit of kind of where we're at with that, I think. I mean, I'm sure there's little pieces here we can do better, but this right here is the next logical step. I consider this, I mean, it is technically a different car, but it's more of an upgrade than it technically is really a new car. So it's going to look exactly the same as a convertible, just be all white and a hardtop. So the same exact chassis and everything. So just be lighter. Anyway, so I'll keep everybody updated. Everybody has a happy Thanksgiving and good holidays. So thanks for watching.